If you're looking to buy a new home, whether it's in Ankeny, Urbandale, Waukee, Des Moines, West Des Moines, Clive, Altoona, Norwalk, I'm going to give you some tips as to what you need to consider when you're looking at new construction. And I'm not talking about building a custom home, because custom homes are a little bit different than looking for a spec home that is new. Number 5 is the warranty work. So there's warranties. Different builders have different warranties. Some have 2-year, some have 1 year. Most of them have the 10-year structural warranty, which covers like the foundation to make sure, the structure is not bad. I think the state requires that. But you want to understand their warranty. You want to understand how it works. If a builder so a couple of examples, a builder could say, we do the warranty work. This is in-house warranty. And then some hire outside third parties to do the warranty work for them. Now, in my opinion, I really like it when the builder does it, because it's the builder name, it's their reputation on the line. But sometimes those outside third-party warranty companies can do some of the work and can do a good job. But you just want to understand what you're dealing with a warranty prior to getting under contract. And number 4 would be hidden expenses. What are the things when I'm buying a new home that are going to pop up on me? So you know that everything in the home is new. You have the 1-year warranty. If there's little things that break down, you should be protected on all of that. But what are some things that sneak in that you just weren't ready for, you weren't prepared for? Most builders don't put refrigerators or washers and dryers in the property. And the reason they don't do that is because they're so different that you put a refrigerator in a spec home, that buyer is going to come in and say, I didn't want French door, I want a top and below. Well, you know what? Builders say, we're not going to put one in there and take the risk, we're going to have to take it out. So understand that you might have to buy a refrigerator and a washer and dryer, because those are very specific items to different people. In addition to the appliances, you also might have blinds. New homes typically don't come with blinds, and you also don't have landscaping. So those 2 things are pretty important, because when you move into the house, you don't want to have your windows wide open to your neighbors. So you can oftentimes have anywhere from $500 to $2,000 to $3,000 in expense just in blinds. Now, you don't have to do your landscaping year 1, but you might want to, or even year 2, you might want to save up for those landscaping items. So make sure you understand the things that aren't in a new house that might be in a resale. That way you're prepared for those when you buy the home, and you know those expenses are coming. And one more expense that might sneak up on you with new construction is the water bill. That's right. When you get a new home, you get fresh sod. And typically they have to put fresh sod in order to get a certificate of occupancy, and that fresh sod takes a lot of water. So you want to make sure you're prepared for that, whether it be hoses or putting in an irrigation system, and just the use of water overall. So to recap real quick, you've got appliances, you got blinds, you got landscaping, and you might have a high water bill trying to take care of that fresh sod. And number 3 might relate more to us here in Iowa and Des Moines, because we have taxes that are paid in arrears, which means they're paid from behind. And when you buy a new home, the county doesn't assess the home until it's complete. And then once they assess the home, taxes don't kick in for another 7 months. So what you run into is a time you get into your mortgage, and it seems like your payment's lower. And over time, the house gets assessed, and then all of a sudden you start to owe taxes. Well, your escrow account that pays your taxes out of your mortgage isn't prepared for that. So oftentimes, about a year to a year and a half after you move into a brand new construction home, you end up getting a bill for $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000, because you have to make up the taxes because they were not due yet. And then when they come due, you have to make up time behind, because we pay them in arrears. So it is a situation I see all the time. And what will happen is you'll either get a bill for the back taxes, which will be around $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 or $8,000, depending on the price of the home. And then the escrow will say, hey, you can either write us a check for this amount, or we can double your escrow payment until that's paid off, and then we'll cut it back down. And if someone gets hit with a double escrow payment, that can be pretty painful if you're not prepared. So my suggestion is, the minute you close on the home, you start putting money into an account as if you're paying the full taxes, and ask your agent and your lender what the taxes are estimated to be, so you can kind of prepare for that. That way, when they come to you and say, hey, you owe us $5,000, you can say, cool, I got the money, boom, and then your escrow account will adjust to that point where they told you in the beginning, and you can move forward smooth without being hurt. But make sure you are prepared for those taxes to kick in, because that can be a real kick in the backside if you're not. And number 2 is knowing the products that go into your home. And this can help you greatly with your insurance. If you know the different shingles, like if it's a 50-year shingle as opposed to a 30-year shingle or a high-resistance shingle, those things can allow you to get a discount on your insurance. Similar to the siding. So if you've got hardy plank siding, which is a cement board, You might be able to go to your insurance agent and tell them, hey, we got hardy plank siding, and get a little bit of a discount because of the fire resistance of that cement board, as opposed to a wood siding or a vinyl siding. Understanding those things are very important. The other thing, just the materials that go on the inside of the house. Knowing the proper ways to clean your floor so you don't damage it. Knowing how, you've got a manufacturer warranty on your carpet, but to get that manufacturer warranty, maybe you have to vacuum it, 5 days a week, and you got to wash it once a year. Keep the receipts, make sure you're documenting all that stuff, because if that carpet wears out faster than it should, maybe you can get a little bit of warranty relief on that. And just knowing those things going into the home are very important. You might not get anything, but just knowing them helps. Plus, if you do those things, those products are going to last longer. I know there's a difference between quartz countertop, Formica countertop, and granite. You don't want to wash a granite countertop with the same thing you do with quartz countertops. Understanding those things will help all the materials within the house last a little bit longer, and the house will feel newer longer, and I think you'll really appreciate that. So just ask the builder how to maintain everything in your house, from flooring to the outside and the inside, everything. Make sure you're sealing your grout and your tile. If you've got a tile shower, make sure you're recaulking that every so often so you don't get leaks. But again, ask the builder all the maintenance tips on the house. You will benefit greatly by doing that. And number one has multiple levels to it, but just don't screw it up. It's really easy for a buyer to screw things up when they're buying a new construction home, and I'll explain. So the first thing that I think of is when you're moving into a new construction home, make sure you talk to the builder about the moving truck. With new concrete, you need to be very careful. You may not want to park a big moving van on the driveway for a little while, or just get it cleared with the builder if that's okay. But you just want to make sure you check with them before you do any of heavy stuff on your driveways or anything like that. Another thing with the don't screw it up is during the loan processing of the property. Oftentimes with new homes, people want new furniture and new things. Don't go open up new accounts at furniture stores or start credit cards so you can start furnishing your house without talking to a lender. The lender's probably going to tell you that it's okay. If your finances are strong and you're good, the lender might say, yep, go right ahead, but check with your lender first, because you could open up a credit card and it could hit your credit score and drop your credit by 20 points. You might still be approved, but maybe that will bump you up to the next interest rate up. So make sure that you check with that lender throughout the process anytime you want to make a financial move. So check with the builder, check with the lender. Before you do anything, check with your agent, the lender, the builder. Just make sure that you're making the right moves, because the last thing you want to do is get a week away from closing and you screwed something up. And the last thing you want to do is move into the house and then get a broken driveway or do something that's going to damage the integrity of the home because you didn't ask the questions. So make sure that you are fully informed, and asking questions is very important. So maybe number one is there are no stupid questions. Ask as many questions as possible just to make sure that you don't screw it up. So those are my 5 tips. I've been selling new construction for over 20 years here in the Des Moines Metro. So if you want someone to walk you through the process, watch your back, make sure you're making the right decisions and finding the right home and the right builder that fits what you're trying to achieve, give me a call. I'd love to help you. If you like this video and you want more tips like it, follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.